part 2. That was annoying. Sorry about that. Sorry I had to restart the stream. That sucks. Okay, so where was I? I was talking about Taurus. 3rd house being Cancer. Just gonna wait for a couple minutes. Hopefully people will see that I'm streaming here and come join me. So a couple of housekeeping things while I wait. If you were looking for a natal chart reading, if you've never had one done before, definitely book just a regular natal chart reading. What's up, JLo? Thanks for finding me. We had to restart, so yeah. Send it out. Finishing off Taurus and Aries. Yeah, so if you've never had a natal chart reading, just order the regular natal chart reading. If you are a return client, you've had a natal chart reading done by me, then you can get the return journey one, just a little bit of a reduced price. We can go over like transits, your yearly perfection, anything you want to look at, anything specific. We can look at past stuff, future stuff, all over the place. So definitely hit me up for that. My website is KayleighBerkana.com. Yeah, anyway, part 2. So it got through Pisces to Gemini, and then had a little bit of a hiccup, and we're back. Yeah, hey JLo. Alright, yeah, if you wouldn't mind sharing the link around, especially to the ladies, on the Telegram groups and whatnot, we can finish up here. Alright, so Taurus. So what was I saying? So for you guys, alright, the Mercury Cazimi is happening in your 3rd house. This is the house of communication, the house of siblings, tools, and skills. This is how I like to look at the 3rd house. So this is some kind of insight. Perhaps you're learning a new skill. I think the metaphor that I made right before the stream ended was, if you're learning how to use a hammer, you know, if you've never used a hammer before, there's a little bit of a learning curve. Watch your thumbs, right? So, but like a hammer, very useful skill, very useful tool. So anyway, what do we have for Taurus for a card? Right, you could do so many things with a hammer, so many different applications and different kinds of hammers. Like if you've never gone shopping for a hammer, okay, you might only picture like, oh, okay, yeah, like a nail hammer, right? A finishing hammer. You might be thinking of that, but there's ball peen hammers, there's mallets, there's sledgehammers, there's these little weird looking square hammers with a spike at the end, but it's not for taking out nails, it's like just a curved spike. I don't know what those ones are called, right? So anyway, Taurus. You're gaining an insight this week into some kind of tool or some kind of communication that needs to happen. So what do we got for Taurus rising? It's kind of a lot. But I'll show you this one. So we got the Knight of Wands. Okay, so Knight of Wands for Taurus. This is interesting. Cancer got this as well. So maybe you're going on an adventure with Cancer, with a sibling. Ooh, that'd be fun. Since we're talking about house of movement, perhaps Taurus rising, you are engaging in a lot more movement. There could be some kind of local trip that you need to take, or that you might want to take. Now would be a great time to do so. Now, 3rd house is not foreign travel, it's not long distance travel, it's like in your neighborhood, right? So within your city, I would say, would count. Your commute to work would count as well. Thanks for finding me, Nathan. Yeah, I know. Not gonna do that again. Yeah, especially on data. As soon as I tried to come back to the stream, it refused to just show the camera. It was messed up. What kind of bird are you? Hi. There's this really little bird sitting on a bush right now, checking me out. It's not a swallow. He just flew away, but similar kind of size. Smaller bird. That was interesting. Anyway, Taurus. There's some passionate communication that needs to happen. There's a belief that you need to share. And perhaps even there is something that, something new that you are learning this week that also fires you up, right? This is the third house we're talking about after all. Keep a beginner's mind though. Try to keep an open mind, a beginner's mind when you're learning something new. It can be really tempting to walk into it can be really tempting to walk into something, especially if you have some basic understanding of it, and just think that you know it all. Be mindful and cautious of that. Try to keep a beginner's mind, even if you are already familiar with the subject matter. And try to enjoy your local environment a little bit more. For example, I'm a Taurus sun, not a Taurus rising, but a Taurus sun, and I decided to stream just outside of my usual area, and it's perfect. So just a tiny example, be open to a little bit of exploration. You might be surprised at how much adventure you can find in your local environment, right? Like, you don't actually need to go very far to go on an adventure. You can find it anywhere. So I think that's what the Knight of Wands is trying to tell you here. Yeah, a few different messages for you. Okay, Aries, we made it to the end. Whoop, whoop. So for Aries, for you guys, Cancer is your 4th house. Excuse me. This is the house of home. This is the house of nurturing. So the 4th house, there's a lot of stuff going on with the 4th house. It's property, like literally, it's literally property. It's your house. It's the environment that you live in, where you lay your head down at night. It is also things that we bury. Psychologically, it's ancestral karma, ancestral patterns and stuff that we keep buried. It's stuff that's been passed on to us from family members, specifically parents, but it could reach further back than that as well. So with Mercury Cazimi in the 4th house, there can be a number of things coming up, but perhaps one way that you can use this energy to your advantage is to take say Wednesday, take a couple hours on Wednesday to I don't know, there's a lot of ways you can explore this. You can journal about it, you can do some like past life regression stuff if you really wanted to. You could do I don't know, there's a lot of ways that you can play with the energy in the 4th house, but the Cazimi represents some kind of insight, right? You're learning something, or something is being revealed to you or communicated to you, specifically about either a parent, your property, or some kind of past life or early life stuff that you've knowingly buried. And perhaps it's time to excavate some of that stuff. Perhaps it's time to take a closer look at it. Because when you have a strong root, that's the 4th house, is your root. When you have strong roots, you can grow taller. When your roots are healthy, you can grow taller. You can reach higher. When you are stable and anchored, right? You have a good foundation from which to build on. So it's always worth doing work in the 4th house, always. This is where like family of origin type stuff lives, if you're familiar with that term. Yeah. Okay, so Aries. Death. Of course, we're gonna end it on a light note. Death. Fuck. This is really cool. Okay, this represents a transformation. Alright, so for Aries, there's a number of things happening that indicate transformation. Alright, death coming out is definitely one of them. Venus in your 5th house, super fertile energy, so that's actually really beautiful and fun and playful. The upcoming Venus retrograde in your 5th house is a kind of transformation. A transformation of how you feel about children and creative projects, how you feel about your creative energy in general. The Mercury Cazimi in the 4th house is kind of helping you bring up stuff about, well, how do you feel about mothering? How do you feel about fathering? How do you feel about, oh, thank you, Scott. I really appreciate that feedback. Yeah, because I was self-conscious about the plane, so thanks, buddy. I appreciate that a lot. Anyway, so how do you feel about parenting in general, right? This is a 4th house thing. How's your relationship with your mom, with your dad? And if that's something, an area that you can't touch right now, that's okay. That doesn't mean that this transit is going to force you to. But like I said, it will be beneficial to at least go into that energy and see how you feel about it internally, right? How do those relationships kind of sit? Yeah, and if you need support around that, don't be afraid to reach out, right? This is a powerful transformation that you're going through. And more transformation is promised for this Venus retrograde coming up. So there's something new that is beginning for you at this time period, and it will require you to let go of some things. Okay. Alright, so now I need to go back to the comments because I saw Nathan. Nathan says, if you have time, Aqua Sun, Scorpio rising, struggle with procrastination and keeping a schedule. Why? Ooh, I would want to know where your Saturn is. But as a Scorpio rising, where's your Mars and where's your Saturn? So when it comes to scheduling, discipline, that kind of stuff, that's a Saturn theme. I don't think it's easy for anybody. I don't think it's an easy thing for anybody to do. That is the nature of Saturn. It requires extra work, extra effort. I don't think anybody is born naturally super disciplined unless they were to have like, okay, I just said that and then I immediately thought of like 4 or 5 different astrological configurations that'd be like, this person is naturally disciplined, so never mind. but even then, I think that that's something that they would need to own about themselves. Okay, but anyway, so if you really struggle to keep a schedule, what I would recommend is, number 1, find what sign and house your Saturn is in, and do a little bit of research into that specifically, especially with an Aquarius sun. In addition to that, the other piece of homework that I would give you is instead of trying to do a bunch of stuff all at once when trying to become disciplined or trying to like it's like a muscle. If you go, oh, somebody can hear. If you go too hard all at once, you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay, making changes is a gradual process. So I would pick like 1 or 2 things to start doing on a regular regimented basis and just do those things, and don't try to pile on too much all at once. You're more likely to have success that way. And then as you've kind of like mastered that one thing, you've turned that one thing into a habit. This is like a month-long thing. after that 30 days, then maybe add another thing. But don't overload it by doing too many things all at once. That's what I would say about that. Cool. Yeah, thank you guys. This has been fun. I super appreciate you. So let's just pull up the live chat. Naturally hate authority. That's fine. And you know what? That's super, and that's a super Aquarius thing to say. I love that, and that's all good, dude. Yeah, but you don't have to like authority to work closely with Saturn. It's more about self-discipline than external authority anyway. And yeah, so traditional astrology, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. It's only in the late, I guess I shouldn't say late, it's only in the 20th century that Aquarius has been switched to being ruled by Uranus. We have a solid 2,000 years of Aquarius being ruled in astrology by Saturn before Uranus was even brought into the picture. So yeah, anyway, yeah, that's all. Okay, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out, and thank you to the super chats. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, this was fun. I'm glad we could do a river talk. And yeah, keep in mind, if you need a natal chart reading or transit reading, book through my website. If you have had a reading from me in the past, remember that you can do the return reading, so it's a discounted price. You're not paying the full price because we already did the natal chart reading. And yeah, have a lovely day. Heck yeah, Nathan, awesome. Yeah, then we can look at Saturn. That's perfect. So yeah, so when you book, just put into like the comments or whatever, like I'll remember your name, but still put into the comments like, hey, let's talk about discipline and Saturn, and we can talk about that. Anything else I gotta say? No, happy birthday, Cancers, that's all. Yeah, peace. Oh no, I don't know how to end it. Fuck. Yep, there we go. Bye.